Now this time we're given the graph, and our task is going to be to find the measures of central tendency. So here's example 2. The students in English class were asked how many shoes they owned. The data is represented on the dot plot below. Find each of the measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendency means that we're going to have to find the mean, the median, and the mode. Before we do this, let's just get some context and let's interpret this data. So this data represents the number of shoes students have. So for example, these red dots represent students. These numbers represent what the title here shows you. So one student has 8 shoes, 2 students have 9 shoes, 4 students have 10 shoes, 2 students have 11 shoes, 1 student owns 15 shoes. So that's how the data is interpreted. Now let's find the mean, and then we're going to get the median and the mode. So here's a cool little trick we can do for the mean when we have a dot plot. Basically, we're going to multiply this value by its frequency. So we have a total of 8 shoes, and we have a frequency of 1, so we're going to do 8 times 1. So it's going to look like this. Whoa, let me make some space here. So we're going to have 8 times 1, and then we're going to add this to the next one, 9 times 2. Next, we're going to do 10 times 4, and 11 times 2, and so on and so on. To reiterate here, the 8 times 1 is this 8 times its frequency. The 9 times the 2 is basically the 9 times its frequency of 2. The 10 times the 4 comes from the 10 times its frequency of 4. The 11 times 2 comes from the 11 times its frequency of 2, so on and so on. We're doing this because recall that to get the mean, we have to add all of the values and then divide by the number of values on our data set. So these red dots are all of our values, so let's go ahead and count them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have a total of 15, so we're going to divide all of this by 15. Let's go ahead and begin to calculate this numerator. So we have 8 times 1, which is just 8. We're going to add 9 times 2, which is 18, plus 10 times 4, which is 40, plus 11 times 2, which is 22, plus 12 times 2, which is 24, plus 13 times 1 is just 13, 14 times 1 is 14, 15 times 1 is 15, and 16 times 1 is 16. And we're dividing all of that by 15. Now this numerator is a little bit big, so I'm actually gonna use a calculator. So I'm gonna input it and see what I get for my total, and I'm getting a total of 170, and I have to divide that by 15. So if I do 170 divided by 15, I get approximately 11.3. So the mean, or the average, is about 11.3. So on average, a student owns 11 shoes. That's what this data is telling us. So right about here. Now let's calculate the median. In the median, there's also this little nice trick I like to do. So if we had the data, or a list of data, remember that we were always shaving off the edges. If I cross out one item on the left, I would have to cross out one item on the right. We're going to use the same principle with these dots right here. So let me show you. So I'm going to cross out a value on the left, or a dot on the left. That tells me that I have to cross a value on the right. Let's do it one more time. Cross one on the left, cross one on the right. Let's keep going. Cross one on the left, cross one on the right, cross one on the left, cross one on the right, cross one on the left, cross one on the right, cross one on the left, cross one on the right, cross one on the left, cross one on the right, and here we're left with this dot, which lands on 11. So the median is going to be 11. Okay, now the last central or measurement of central tendency is the mode. And the mode is actually the easiest one. So let me clear this up a little bit for you. And the mode is basically the value that has the highest peak. So you can clearly see that the mode here is 10 because 10 has the highest peak. So we can write that the mode is going to be 10. So mode is 10. And we have all three measurements of central tendency. Okay, try the next set of problems and I'll see you back on example 3.